Welcome to another episode of Preparing for the Unexpected. I'm your host, Alex Fullick, and as always, I like to talk about things related to crisis management, business continuity, disasters, COVID, resilience, anything that helps you, your organization, or your community prepare for, respond to, and overcome adverse situations. Today, I wanted to talk about 2012. Yes, the end of the world. Or at least that's what we were told it meant. I was moving some books around the other day. I love reading all kinds of books, including ancient civilizations, the Mayans, the Incas, Sumerians, all kinds of different things and finding out how they worked. And I just happened to come across one of the books I had on 2012. And the first thought that popped into my mind is, wow, we got that wrong. And then I started thinking about it a little more as I just kind of flipped through the pages, looking at some of the interesting old art and pictures that were in there. And I realized maybe we didn't get 2012 wrong. Maybe it happened just as it said it did, but we didn't identify the warning signs. Now, hear me out. 2012 was not supposed to be a stick in the sand, a line in the dirt, a pivotal single moment in time. It's really a change from one time cycle to another, like from one millennium to another millennium, or one century to another. And in the scriptures of the Mayans about 2012, it said, it's not the end of the world. We're leaving one time frame and entering another time frame. Leading up to that period, we will see an increase in social unrest, disasters, other events that impact us, and we will see some after that as well. So I started thinking, going, okay, well, what happened around 2012 then? It's the estimated time frame, obviously, because they were talking in thousands of years, plural, thousands of years. So I think we can forgive being off by a couple of years, let's say. Leading up to 2012, which is the date I'll just reference, we had an increase in activity around the globe. We had volcanoes, we had tsunamis, we had an increase in storms like Katrina, greater disasters that were coming along. We had the Nepal earthquake that devastated that area, the Indian earthquake tsunami, which killed anywhere from 500,000 people, if not to a couple of million people, devastated communities. We're seeing a rise in waters. We've got people under threat of losing their homes, their land, cities being flooded. Look at, I think it's Jakarta, Indonesia, that is sinking. And they're moving the capital because of it. And I've seen pictures of big walls in certain areas of the city because the ocean is quite high where it used to be, and parts of the city are sinking now. We've had other situations occur since 2012. Remember, at one time, volcano eruptions used to be kind of a novelty, really. That may not be the right word, but it was kind of a novelty. Oh, look at the lava. Oh, that's so pretty. But now we're seeing it more and more often around the globe. Look what's happening in La Palma right now, in Spain, with communities, thousands of homes being destroyed. Well, that's area that's not going to be used for a very long time. We're seeing other volcanoes erupt in different places. Remember the Icelandic volcano a few years back that shut down air travel in Europe? We're seeing these kind of things happen all the time. We're seeing an increase in climate change, greater fires, forest fires that are occurring, greater heat temperatures, around the globe where people are suffering. Water, especially in the southwest of the United States right now, has been in decline. The availability of this water has been in decline for years, and it's reaching unbelievably critical levels. What's going to happen to all the people, the farmlands, the cities that depend on it, the rivers, the wildlife that depends on it? Right now, that whole area is choking. It's starting to choke quite bad. We've got larger forest fires happening across Australia, Western Canada, and the United States. And we saw some huge ones in Europe a couple of years ago. Heat waves in Europe. Heat waves, I grew up in the United Kingdom as a little boy. I don't remember a single hot day. Sunny days, yes. Blue sky days, yes. Hot day, not at all. But now they're having the extreme. They're having the hot weather. They're having heat waves there. And now they'll continue to have the rain, which England and Scotland and Wales and Ireland are famous for. But now they're getting that in extremes. We're seeing more storms up the eastern coast of the United States and Canada, up in the maritime provinces. All this is what 2012 said would be happening, that we would see an increase. But we would also see an increase on other areas, not just the climate changes. Black Lives Matter, more protests that are going on, civil unrest, COVID is another item, and some of the other pandemics and illnesses that have occurred around the globe, SARS, MERS, H1N1, and some of the other ones that have happened. So was 2012 right? It seems if you actually follow what it said would happen, it was right. Not the people who said it's the end of the world, run into the bunkers and hide out for 5 years with no social contact with the outside world. Not that kind of end of the world. It was just the end of a time period and the start of a new one. Leading up to it and after it, we would see drastic change, drastic impacts to our societies and our peoples. And that's exactly what's happening. We were given a warning sign and it seems we've ignored it. So are we doing that with other risk situations that are out there right now? Are we ignoring things that could be impacting ourselves, our organizations, our communities, our nations? What kind of things are we just taking for granted? Is that, well, that's a normal occurrence, and we don't even know it, that we're ignoring this situation because it's actually a warning sign for what might come later. So I thought it rather interesting when I looked at it that way, that maybe 2012 was, and the Mayan scriptures was all a warning sign to us. And because maybe it was such a old documentation, old prophecy, and by a civilization we would call uncivilized, using in comparison to today's world with all our technology and our fancy gadgets, we would consider them uncivilized, even though maybe they were more civilized than we give them credit for. They gave us a warning, we chose to ignore it. So think about where you are, where your organization is, where your nation is, where your community is. Are there warning signs out there that maybe we're ignoring? And we need to prepare better, because 2012 kind of did tell us things were coming before 2012 and after 2012. And look where we are now in 2021. We've got disasters happening everywhere. We've got nations sinking into the ocean. We've got millions of people dying from health concerns. People fighting around the world over dogma, political views, even just fighting over staying alive to get a shot to keep us alive from COVID. All sorts of things are happening now. And we didn't really pay attention to it. We kind of thought it was a joke. Maybe it wasn't a joke. So what else is out there right now we need to be paying attention to? Think about it. In the meantime, stay prepared, everybody. If you liked that video, thumbs up. If you didn't like that video, thumbs down. But leave a message and let me know what your thoughts are. If you'd like to be a guest on the show to talk about something related to business continuity, disaster management, COVID, personal well-being, anything that's relatable to those subjects, you can reach me through my LinkedIn profile, which is in the video description. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. In the meantime, stay prepared, everybody.